somehow I knew Dragovich was still alive.
He became your obsession. You spent the next 5 years trying to track him down.
He was everywhere! I couldn't get him out of my head. He's just like the others.
We pumped so much shit into him, he doesn't even know what to say.
Russians. Just always in my head.
No, I want to keep pressing you.
Hey! Who are you people? What do you want from me?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted. Take us back again, Mason. After Baikonur, where did Washington send you next?
Vietnam. Fucking Khe Sanh.
This was in 1968.
Yeah, I was part of the SOG unit led by Frank Woods. It was recon on covert Russian activity in Laos.
What about your CIA handler, Hudson? Was he in Khe Sanh? Do you remember him there?
Hudson. And Mr. Shades. The guy was an ice cube.
This is the Psychedelic Music Show at AFVN. I'm Army Specialist Zach Johnson. Our APO here is 96309. If you send a request to that number, what we do is we open it like this. When it arrives, we read it, pull out that record, and play it on the air. Like this one, Fortunate Son by
Woods, he's here.
Mason.
Woods, you look like hammered shit.
Looks don't count for shit in the jungle. It's nah, baby.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Jason Hudson, CIA. Thank you for your time, Sergeant.
Right.
I've already briefed Mason broadly about the situation.
Let me fill in the blanks for you. Back in '64, the CIA gave up control of the covert operations in Southeast Asia, handed it over to the U.S. military. From that, MACB SOG was born. Now, aside from being a base for the Marine Corps, Khe Sanh is our launching point for all cross-border activities, mostly Laos and Cambodia. Missions are S&D, sabotage, black propaganda, strategic recon, POW rescue. You know, usual shit. Mason over here! Get him moving!
And so for the first time ever in a Call of Duty game, somebody gets knocked over and it's not you getting dragged to cover. That's got to be just an impressive break from the tradition of the game. I'm Roman Jenkins, and welcome back to Black Ops. I was going to make a welcome to the jungle joke, but fuck that. Anyways, this mission is where a lot of people pretty much give up on the game. And actually, if you listen to Sam Worthington's accent from here on out, it's where he apparently got clearance on his check and just stopped trying to hide the accent. And we start off with the M16, but I'm going straight to the M60 because I'm not a pussy. Seriously, this section almost needs it. You can let that guy die, by the way, but you get flooded with so many enemies in this section of the game that you really want the M60. And shooting these guys, by the way, does nothing. The guys right up against the trench you should worry about, but these guys out there, they'll just keep respawning and sending more people in. So it's best to just clear out the area. Oh, and look, QuickTime events. I'm sure we'll never see these again. Yep. As far as they go, that's a pretty good one. So your goal here is to get through the trenches and get somewhere in Khe Sanh, which is an actual base, and this is the actual date this all happened on. In the thread, I've linked up a really great article about the whole thing. And remember when I said you need the M60? Yeah. There's this section and this section here. Just, they require it almost. And that right there, the guy on the right, is invincible until that little sequence is done. I don't know why. And yeah, the M60 gibbs enemies, which is pretty great. The issue with it that a lot of people have is it takes about 3 days to reload. You can reload cancel pretty late in the process, but it's not really worth it, especially if you have a quiet area. And I don't understand where I'm getting shot from there. That was almost my first death, but you had to wait for that helicopter to show in and clear out the guys ahead of you. I don't know, this section is just kind of boring. You get to see how bad the gatekeeper AI in the game is. These guys are just terrible at everything. And they'll walk right past people who are shooting at them and not even look in their direction. But we're going to come up on a spot where I make a pretty terrible cut, but it was the best I could do. And I also missed the entire goal of a section and almost die about twice trying to get through it without remembering stuff. This mission is infamous for a section way up ahead. You'll know it when you see it, where you're not really told, there's the cut, you're not really told what you need to do in the section, and it's just assumed you understood what they wanted. Well, here I completely missed those two items because I was shooting the Vietnamese, and I have a follow icon over there, and I've got these two weird ones on in front of me, but I wanted to get into this bunker where everyone else was going, because there's an emplaced M60, and I just like to shoot people. And this lasts about a minute. I'm not gonna lie, I completely missed this. Woods actually mentions a Burnham thing, and he wants you to grab that. And I eventually realized, oh, I should probably grab that glowing thing. Clearly, I played through this level before I did this. And yeah, I didn't even get this far last time I played through it. I didn't even get near these plungers before those guys just overran the hill and killed everyone. So I had a pretty miserable time. But you only need to blow up really one of those. And the M14's here. I was almost out of M16 ammo. I like the M14. Like I said, I like the single-shot assault rifles in this game. The semi-automatics. Simply because it allows you to not get shot or have these guys flinch too much when you hit them. Your disadvantage, of course, is that they have less ammo, and boom. Of course, they have less ammo, and they also, well, if you don't hit your shots, and you'll notice when I shoot stuff, I flinch a lot when I miss, when I get hit by enemies. If you start firing on a guy and you flinch, you will miss your follow-up shots, and you'll die probably. So there's that drawback to it. But for the most part, you're pretty okay using semi-autos in single player. And I like to just clear out these guys here. Killing those guys has no effect on the rest of this level. But we're about to go into the section everyone loves to hate. I also didn't realize the path I was supposed to take here. Shells. I almost picked up another M60 here, thinking that it might be a good idea, knowing what's ahead, but I decided to soldier on with these weapons, the LAW and the M14. That was a mistake. You'll see why. This section, the hills of Khe Sanh. So every other barrel in this game that you can explode, you shoot at it from a distance. It's marked in red. Right now, Frank Woods is talking to this guy about these napalm barrels up ahead that they couldn't bury, but they were going to use them as mines, basically. It's not explained. Woods just says, "Get to those barrels," or we'll get those barrels. Here I die. Run out of ammo. This is what I was saying about the M14. If you miss a couple shots, you're pretty screwed. So Woods says, "Get to the barrels, use the barrels." I'll actually let him get through the whole thing up ahead here, and so you can hear it.
We're almost out of ammo. There's a weapons cache in that bunker on the right.
Inbound 2 minutes.
But we can't get to it. They closed the right flank. Those barrels. Come on,
Right now.
we got pushed back before we could bury it.
Good to know. Marines, hold your positions. Let's fucking go. I see him. Rip him off.
So, the game, as you heard, All Woods says is, those barrels, they're full of napalm, right? Yeah, this happened before we could bury him. Let's go fucking use them. Let's go. That's all. He doesn't say, we'll use them. He just says, let's fucking go. So, there's a bunker on the right, which actually is the smarter move to go to, and that there's barrels full of napalm out there. It doesn't tell you, go shoot them, go use them. You actually have to run up to it and hold X at it to light it off and set it at the Vietnamese to clear out this section. Now, this is the maybe one time in the game where you're required to go hit something, hit X or the action button at something without any prompting whatsoever. So instead of getting on the M60, I'm going to go into this weapons cache on the right here. Getting to the bunker here or on the left really provides some good cover for you, and it lets you kind of regroup and pick up some guns. So I'm going to get the China Lake grenade launcher here, and we're going to, right past him, right there, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to go and try to clear this place out. I like the China Lake personally. I actually use it in multiplayer sometimes. But I think I pick up a stakeout after I get through with this. And it's a pump action grenade launcher. Now, mind you, maybe 3 of these things were ever built, and none of them ever were fielded. But don't let that take you out of Call of Duty. That's the wrong attitude to take towards it. Stakeout's a pretty good gun, and it won't let me do that because that's the one Woods has to hit. So I have to hit this one. This game really fucking hates you if you don't know what you're doing. If you didn't know to go to that one specific barrel first, or go to this one first, you would just be completely screwed. Woods will not engage his unless you go engage one first. So, what the fuck? And here I almost fucked it up by shooting from a mile away. So, with that section done, and this is on normal difficulty, I died twice. I'm probably going to go back through on veteran and do this again and just see how many deaths it takes me there. So now we're in the kind of final upward push. This section sucks too. Pretty much all sections of this level suck. Actually, pretty much this entire level sucks. Everything. Even the song that started at the beginning, Fortunate Son by Creedence, that didn't come out until a year after this, almost 2 years after these events. It came out in late 1969. This is January of 1968. So, they didn't even try with this section, I don't think. I think they just put their B squad on this and said call it a day. But it introduces us to the NVA and Vietnamese in general, which is where we'll be spending a pretty significant majority of the game from here on out, in one form or another. And I'm just going to shoot through Hudson here. He's not doing shit. Picking up a weapon like the RPK here, no, it's not an RPK, whatever it is. Picking up an LMG here is actually a brilliant move because it means you don't have to reload as often. But when the ammo is kind of scarce, and I thought that guy was wearing a construction helmet, I'm sorry. The ammo is kind of scarce, but there's not much to this level left. So let's go into another knockdown sequence. In 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, it's a Call of Duty game. If you didn't think your character was going to get knocked down and you were wrestled controls from at some point, Oh, and Woods demonstrates the M16's abilities to work. Yep, gun jammed on him. Everyone's running away. It's up to you. And you give that. I forgot about that. Blood sprays out of his arm after he hits the ground and his arm's off. I love it. So we're going to go into a pretty easy section of the level on, regular difficulty at least. You just ride around for a bit. And I thought that map was interactable. I keep forgetting I'm not playing Skyrim. So you're told to get in here, and you're given a China Lake and an M60, which I forget about for a while. I just keep using the China Lake. And I don't... There we go. You can reload the China Lake. You'll never see me actually do it, I don't think. it's not worth it. You know, you get 4 shots in single player, and you keep getting interrupted by this, and I can't believe I missed that. I missed 2 of these rockets all told, and one of them's because I hit a fence. I didn't know it was there. But once you get out of that tow missile section, you go straight into full ammo for whatever weapon you had. For both weapons you had, actually. So the M60, if I had fired 99 rounds, would have 100 rounds in it right now for that section. So it's not worth reloading anything here. I think that's actually pretty good game design, because you're basically helpless otherwise. And bam, what up? And I think this is the fence. I didn't know that was a fence. You can't tell. But this section's pretty inoffensive. It's just a reason for you to see the F4s and stuff like that flying through and bombing the place. See? And for you to use this tow missile, which you'll never really see again, I don't think. And while you're in the tow, you're basically invincible, by the way. You can't be hurt. These tanks won't fire on you. They'll do nothing. You can use this as an anti-personnel weapon, by the way, to great effect even. And you can't hit the tanks that are climbing off out in the distance, which I'm trying to do here, because they're part of the whole, they're gonna be bombed and shit. I like how fences are not permeable at all, but fucking lampposts you can go right through. Just completely fuck it, But luckily, we're pretty much at the end of this level. I think we got 1 bombing run, and we're done.
This is starting something else. They'll be back.
So, thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Bowman!
You look like hammered shit, Mason.
Nam would do that to you.
Good to see you, Alex.
Jason Hudson, CIA. We're here to talk about your encounter with Russians in Laos. We got word a defector might be in play.
Today, communications are in chaos, and commercial flights from the airport have been canceled. While some
The Tet Offensive was the beginning of the end, when America really started losing the war. Inside the MACV compound in Way City, you established contact with the Russian defector.
No!
We know you did. He turned himself in MACV. You were there, Mason. He had intel on Dragovich. Everything. But it was a lost cause.
Shut the fuck up!
NVA had surrounded the city. MACV had all but burned to the ground. The defector was surely dead.
He wasn't dead!
It was a lost cause, and you still went in. Why?
His protection team had gone dark. I couldn't accept that he was dead. I needed that fucking dossier!